Well, hello and welcome to the Cork Real Estate Group webinar. My name is Benjamin Z. Meller. I am the president of Cork Real Estate Group. We have a really exciting presentation today where we're going to show you how you can profit by owning real estate in and around Cork, Ireland, by investing in our limited partnership interests, where we do all of the work for our investors. We go out, we locate the assets, we negotiate, we secure financing on the assets, and then we manage those assets on a long-term basis for our partners. So we'll go ahead and get started here, but first I want to just do a legal disclaimer. As accredited investors, you will be aware that all investments have some level of risk, and so it is with this investment as well. If you are an investor, you should be able to assess your own appetite for risk, and you should not invest until you read the investment memorandum and are comfortable with everything on that. So very good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So, you know, the last few years, so much has happened in and around Cork, Ireland. And how does one, if you're interested in real estate, benefit from that? How do you benefit from some of the opportunities that are there? I'm going to share my experience with being an investor and having done a lot of transactions over the years. What I would say is the number one thing is to find a motivated seller. Being able to find a seller that you can work with directly, where you're not having to compete with all of the other investors. Once the property's on the market, once it's publicly for sale, it's very hard to get a good discount. But with what we do with Cork Real Estate Group, we are able to locate properties that are off market. And as a result of that, we are purchasing properties for below market value, which gives us a big advantage. We are able to do this by offering the opportunity for our partners to invest in limited partnership interests. It's very simple. I'll explain how that works, but that's the basics of it. So we target a 14.4% annual rate of return. Now, sometimes when I say that, people have asked, well, hey, you know, real estate only goes up 5 or 6% a year. Why do you think you can get 14.4%? The reason for that is because we are purchasing the assets at below market value. So we're not buying the assets with a real estate agent that is putting us in a multiple offer situation where the seller is saying things like, you know, you need to bring me your highest and best offer and I'll consider it. That sort of a seller is a retail seller. We are looking for a seller that is motivated, where they have a situation that they want to sell. And therefore, if we're purchasing the asset at 80% of market value, 90%, 80%, 70%, maybe even sometimes 60% of market value or less, it is quite easy to hit a 14.4% average rate of return over a 5-year timeline. We do 5 years because we are trying to double the value of that limited partnership interest in a 5-year window. That is what we were looking for, a fixed term of 5 years. So when we're analyzing a deal, if we think we can double money in 5 years, that's an attractive deal. If we look at a deal and we think it's going to take 6, 7, 8 years to double money, that's not such an attractive deal. We're really shooting for 5 years. Of course, we'd like to do it in 4 or 3 years, but 5 years is a realistic target in the real estate game. We also are focused on compounding growth. We are looking for investors that have a long-term view of real estate. We're not a company that's running around trying to flip real estate. We are trying to acquire 100 million in real estate over the next 5 years approximately in and around Cork, Ireland. And we want to do that with our partners. We want to create value for our partners where they can have their money doubled over that 5-year time frame approximately. And they also don't have any of the headache of having to manage the assets. They never have to deal with any of that. So the way that it works is we have a 7% preferred rate of return. And the minute I say that, I want to clarify that is nothing compared to the amount of money that you will make with us by holding on to the limited partnership interest longer term. But we do offer a 7% preferred rate of return, and that is paid out. It's paid out quarterly. So that's an annual rate of return of 7%, but every quarter we pay that out. You get that during the holding period. So you are generating passive income during the holding period while this is going on. And that is something that's a benefit. And then once we get to the point where we're 5 years out, we should have doubled the money on the assets that we purchase. So if we buy an asset for €1,000,000 and we do our job right in terms of doing a good job with improving the asset, increasing the rent, and inflation is also helping us. And we know that inflation always likes to help the real estate investor. It's a wind in the sail. We should be at about 2 million on that hypothetical asset. We're looking for assets that are priced at above €1,000,000. That doesn't mean we won't look at an asset that's less than 1,000,000, but in general, we're trying to find a little bit nicer assets that are a little bit more expensive that would be above €1,000,000 for the price. And what we are doing there is, if we have a situation where we locate a seller through maybe our cold calls, through maybe our advertising, through all the different methods that we will use to find sellers that don't have a real estate agent between them and us, we will talk to the seller about selling their entire portfolio. And if that portfolio, maybe they have 2 properties that are in Cork, Ireland, and they have 1 property that's in Dublin, say it's some house in Dublin, we would still buy that asset, even though we don't really want the house in Dublin. We are trying to make the process convenient for the seller, where they can sign a contract, where they can sell everything to Cork Real Estate Group. After we purchase that asset, the one in Dublin, we'd be likely to sell off or because we're not set up to manage all over Ireland. We're trying to focus, but to make it easy so that we don't tell the seller something like, you know what, that's great. We'll buy those 2 that are in Ireland, but we don't want that one in Dublin. We only buy in Ireland. Well, that seller, all he has to do is call one real estate agent, and the real estate agent will suggest, hey, just let me sell them all. We can sell them. And then we have lost our off-market opportunity as a result of making our criteria too strict. But the general focus, we're trying to focus on making it where we're getting assets in and around Cork, Ireland. So that's the idea behind it. But I wanted to clarify that. There's been a lot of changes in buy to let, and many of you that are already experienced landlords, you know about that. It has really gone down a lot in popularity with investors. That is one of the great things about working with Cork Real Estate Group, is you're getting all of the benefits of investing in real estate, but you're not having to do any of the hard work. We take care of all that for you. So here is an illustration of our structure. Here's how it works. So Cork Real Estate Group is your general partner, where we actually are the ones that are sourcing the deals. We're negotiating, we're taking out the financing to purchase the assets. We will use a property management company, but we're managing the property management company, and we may have more than one property management company, but probably we'll have 1 or 2 property management companies that will do the day-to-day management. But we're involved with it when something breaks, when we need to get a rehab estimate to repair something, we take care of all of that. Now let's imagine a pipeline of assets. Project 1 would be, maybe it's an asset that costs more than €1,000,000 in Cork, Ireland. And let's say that we think it's worth 1.2, 1.3 million euros, but we can buy it at a good price. So we sign a contract for, say, €1,000,000. We go to a specialist lender that would give us a loan for, say, €700,000. And then that €300,000 the lender is going to require to make the loan, that is going to be coming from our partners and from Cork Real Estate Group. So we'll put that money together, and then the ownership of it, our partners are going to own 75% of the asset, and Cork Real Estate Group will own 25% of the asset. And then, but we take care of all the work on it. We do everything for you, and you're getting direct ownership on it. Your tax returns, we will have those the tax documents that you need to file. We will have a professional put those together so that you can take the deductions that you get on that. But you will be shown multiple deals. So you'll see maybe from us a few deals per year. The deals that you like and that you want to invest into, you're welcome to invest into those. We're looking for accredited investors that understand what we're doing, that are a little bit more experienced, where they're at a point in life where they know how real estate works, they see the power of it, and they just would like to work with professionals that can go out and do everything for them. And we provide that. So that is the benefit there. So what sort of returns could an investor expect? Well, let's say that you got on an annual investment program where you placed maybe each year 100,000 euros or 50,000 euros or whatever it might be. But let's go and take a look at this. Basically, you're going to get a 7% preferred return, and then the ownership interest is worth 100,000 euros, but we're compounding that at an average of 14.4% to achieve a double at 5 years. That's our target. We want to double your money in 5 years. We may do it a little sooner. It may take us a little bit more, but we're going to be close to that 5 years, or we're not doing a good job for you. That's what we're focused on. So 7% preferred return, though, you're getting that all during the holding period. So we have structured it that way. Now, why would someone choose this? Why would someone choose this over maybe doing it on their own? Well, you get better risk-adjusted returns because you've got a lot of different assets that you are seeing. We also have taken a lot of the risk out of it for you because we're the ones that are arranging the financing. You are not giving personal guarantees on expensive loans. You're not involved in any of that. You're just limited to the capital you put to work with us. That's the extent of your risk, but you're not putting your personal guarantee on any real estate loan with a bank. So that's a huge advantage. You also avoid all of the work of having to deal with it or dealing with a property manager if you have a property manager. You're able to access a wider range of investments. Even if you are talking to a real estate agent and they're showing you what's available, that agent only knows typically what's available on the market because they're getting on the computer and they're typing in a search, and then they're coming back to you and they're saying, here's some options. But we have options that are off-market options. So you get passive income. You also get appreciation of the asset. You get higher quality assets. We take care of all of the tax documents that you need, where you are given those tax documents so that when you file your taxes, they are prepared. We also try to work with the different pension plans when it's possible. Each plan is a little bit different, but we try to structure things so that this investment should qualify if you're using any of these. For example, self-invested personal pension, or maybe you're using a self-directed retirement savings account. We try to work within that framework. So how to invest? Well, the important thing with limited partnership interests is it needs to be where you're not active in it. And we structure the investment where you're not active in it. So it will qualify for those benefits where you're allowed to do that investment. What about investing in limited partnership interests? There's a lot of different ways to do it, and we can work with you one-on-one to find what is best for your unique situation. What about how do I get my money back? That's a great question. The way that we do it is after 3 years, we can cash you out at the appraised value. We'll get an appraisal on it from a licensed appraiser, and we'll cash you out at that point if you want out. If you don't want out, you can just keep earning the 7% preferred rate of return as long as you want into the future. The other thing is, if you come and you want out earlier than 3 years, we do offer a matched bargain early release. So we try to work with our investors, but it's better for you if you wait for the full 3 years before you ask to be cashed out. And frankly, it's better if you just hold on to it long-term for 5 years or even 10 years. But we do have that put into place. So we've got a plan there to get your money out. Okay, in summary, last slide. You get access to income producing real estate. You get deals that you're never going to find on your own. Even if you know a lot of real estate agents, you're not going to have access to the exact same deals that we can put in front of you. We can work with you on a plan to build passive income. If you're a few years away from retirement, maybe you're 5 years away and you decide, hey, you know, I like this. I'll start out, I'm going to do 50,000 euros a year. I'll plan on each year placing 50,000 euros or 100,000 euros or whatever you want. We make a note on the list. And then when we have deals, we show you a deal. If you want in, you can say, okay, put my name on the list. And then, you know, we'll get all the legal paperwork as well, where you can have that also put together. So another benefit, never have to deal with a tenant. You're never going to have to hear a tenant explain what's wrong with the toilet or the plumbing or the roof leaking. None of that. We do all of that for you. Another great thing is you also are invited into our network, where we are going to be holding events in Cork, Ireland, where you can meet other investors that are investing in our group, so that you can, it's for business networking. It's a great thing. Folks, I want to thank you so much for your time. If you want more information, please just at any time fill out the contact form on our website. We have these webinars every single Thursday, and you are invited every Thursday at 5 p.m. Irish time. So if you see this on the internet and you got it, please, you're invited. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.